Hey everybody. I hope you guys will stay tuned for the entirety of this video because you are going to be seeing, I believe, some amazing information regarding all of the corporations that are behind every single agenda that you can think of. The jab juice. Isn't it strange that there are pharmaceutical companies that were just waiting to provide jab juice to everybody for free, and they were even paying people to take it? And look at everything that's going on with that situation now. The transgender agenda, the white privilege agenda, the carbon this, the global warming that. Every single agenda, we're going to be taking a look at corporations and more corporations. You know what's really interesting to me is that I started off only looking at the AMC movie theaters and IMAX that were making it difficult for individuals in the United States from watching these movies. And the CEO of AMC comes out and says, it's a conspiracy theory. There's people watching the movie Sound of Freedom, and there's no problems. But yet we're seeing people with videos on their phone confronting management in the particular Sound of Freedom showing theater, and they are admitting there's no air conditioner. We're seeing fire alarms going off. Now, obviously, something is going on, and it is not managers of these movie theaters all around. They're not calling each other on the phone and going, hey, we need to conspire with each other. And we need to do this because we don't want this movie seen. They have no vested interest in this movie not being seen. They don't. So my question then to myself was, well, who has the vested interest in preventing people from watching this movie, Sound of Freedom? We're going to be taking a look at the corporations because guess what? They are all the same corporations all across the board for every single freaking agenda there is. Let's take a look. Before we do, I want to remind everybody really quick about the World Economic Forum and what they said. You will own nothing. You will be happy in anything that you want or need. You can rent it and it will be sent to you via a drone or some other mode of delivery system. And who is going to own all the property that people are going to be renting? That's right, the corporations. But now, wait a minute. What if all of the same corporations own every or majority of the shares of every single corporation out there that you can think of? And I am going to prove it to you. We're going to first start out and look at AMC, and then we're going to go to across the board to pharmaceutical corporations. Then we're going to take a look at the car manufacturing corporations. We're going to look at the energy corporations, financial corporations, military industrial complex corporations, and you're going to see a pattern develop. And then we are going to go back and we're going to take a look at Wayfair. Do you remember Wayfair and the whole story behind them providing very high-priced cabinets and throw pillows with names attached to them as if they were providing a service for very high elite individuals to purchase trafficked individuals? There's another agenda right there in the making. So let's take a look at all this, everybody. Follow along with me, and you're going to see the pattern develop right before your eyes. As you can see, the 26% of shares held by institutions and 26.30 float held by institutions. And this is AMC Entertainment Holdings. Now, we're going to see some corporations listed here, and I am going to show you other corporations that are going to come up in other stockholder shares holdings that are going to be very important. I'm going to mention a couple of them when we look right here. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street and Geode Capital Management. Now you're going to see a T. Rowe Price, Berkshire Hathaway, FMR LLC, Dodge and Cox, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and you're going to see a pattern develop. I promise you that. Let's take a look at the other movie theater where there were reports coming out that they were being disrupted in their viewing of the movie Sound of Freedom. And here you go. As I said, FMR LLC, there's Invesco Ltd, BlackRock. And if we take a look, what's interesting about Invesco and some of the others right here is you're going to see this. PD, 86% of the shares held by institutions. And who are those institutions? Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode Group, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, like I said. Now, who do you think would have the vested interest in preventing the moviegoer from seeing this movie? And I'm going to show you how some of these corporations are actually tied in with Wayfair. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if Wayfair was actually in the business of providing elites with trafficked individuals, and that's how they provided those services was through their website? Let's take a look at all of the other agendas. Let's take a look at the transgender agenda. Okay, let's start off with Target. Shares held by institutions, Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Geode Capital, JP Morgan. Let's take a look at some of these, and you're going to see how they're all intertwined. Bank of America. Oh, yes. Berkshire Hathaway plays a big part in all of this as well. If I did not mention them by name, Bank of America, Berkshire Hathaway, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, FMR, JP Morgan Chase, Geode Capital, T. Rowe Price, JP Morgan, and T. Rowe Price. 71%. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, FMR LLC, T. Rowe Price. T. Rowe Price. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, JP Morgan, Geode, and Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley. State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, JP Morgan, FMR LLC, Geode Capital. Right here, how much of the stocks? 63%. Now, did I show you? And let me ask you this question, everybody. Okay, let me ask you this. So Target decides they're going to start selling this whole pride stuff, and they're going to try to appeal to kids or families with kids clothing with unicorns and rainbows and clouds, and you're going to boycott Target and you are going to start shopping elsewhere. Where are you going to shop at? Walmart? Maybe you're going to shop online. Amazon. Think again, everybody. Target. 81 per shares held by institutions. Vanguard, Capital, State Street, BlackRock, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Geode Capital, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo. Here you go. Wells Fargo, 76%. Vanguard, BlackRock, FMR, State Street, Dodge and Cox. Remember, I told you about that. Geode, JP Morgan. Okay, I showed you all that, right? So you're going to boycott and you're going to go to what? Walmart? Is that where we're going to go? Here you go. Walmart. Yes, 47% of the shares are held by the inside, but look who holds. Look who holds here. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, T. Rowe Price, and FMR LLC. How about Amazon? Are you going to shop Amazon? Amazon, who is the institutions or corporations that are majority shareholders in Amazon? Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, FMR, T. Rowe Price, Geode, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America. And they're all intertwined with each other, as I just showed you. Bank of America, who is the majority stakeholders in all these corporations together. Now, how about the electric car? You know, I was thinking about this. Okay, so you have a power grid that's already overburdened as it is, and now you want to switch to electric vehicles and create all of these electrical outlet plugs for cars that you're going to charge them to charge their car, but you have power grids that already are overburdened. Who is going to profit from all of these changes from oil? The oil companies. Let's take a look at the oil companies. Let's take a look at the electric companies. And then let's take a look at the car companies. Okay? Oil, Exxon. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, FMR, Geode, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and even Bank of New York Mellon. I can show you. Do you want to see it? Bank of New York Mellon. All of these, all intertwined. Let's take a look at the majority stockholders of Bank of New York Mellon. Bank of New York Mellon. 86% of shares held by corporate institutions. Vanguard, BlackRock, Dodge and Cox, State Street, FMR, Geode. There you go. Let's take a look at Chevron. What is it? 72% held by corporate institutions. Vanguard, BlackRock, Berkshire, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. Yes, all of them all intertwined with each other. All of them. Let's take a look now at some electric companies. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, and Royal Bank of Canada. Energy Corporation, 79% held by corporate institutions. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, FMR LLC, Geode Capital Management. Okay, you get the point. Now, let's take a look at the auto industry, the ones who switched to electric, just like the oil companies and the automakers were in collusion with each other so that devices or cars were not manufactured to be able to go over certain amount of miles per gallon. There was corporate There were corporate collusion going on between those two companies. So it should not be some big mystery that corporations collude with each other, and they're doing it now for the global warming agenda. Let's take a look at the auto industry. 83% sheltered by corporate institutions. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Berkshire Hathaway, Invesco, Bank of America. Let's take a look at Ford. Company, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, just to name a few. Now, you guys get the point. You can I'm going to leave you guys links in the description box. You can come to Yahoo Finance and you can look any corporation up that you want. Don't think that I'm just limiting just to lie to you that these are the only that every corporation is involved. They are. I don't have enough time to type in all the corporations. I'm going to show you the pharmaceutical industry, Pfizer, Moderna, Novarvix, or whatever it is, the three corporations that provided the jab juice to the American public for free. For free. And there was an agenda behind the jab juice, wasn't there? We know there was. We will take a look at that agenda next. Pfizer, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. There we go down the line and look at all. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street are the three main ones, right? Okay. Let's take a look at Moderna, and you'll see that this applies with every pharmaceutical company that is out there. This is Moderna. Isn't it interesting? mRNA is there. Bailey Gifford and Company, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, Bailey Gifford and Company. Remember I said Dodge and Box or whatever it was? Dodge and Cox is another one to keep your eye out. We're going to see this Bailey Gifford and Company again. And if you see right here, $5 billion worth of shares. Novavix, Vax, whatever. This is one of the other ones that was providing the jab juice. State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup. Okay, how about Citigroup? Let's take a look in case Citigroup. Okay, here you go. Citigroup. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Berkshire Hathaway, Geode Capital, Bank of New York Mellon, which I showed you, Bank of America showed you that, Morgan Stanley, I do believe I've showed you that. Now, let's take a look at something else real quick. And I want you to think about something here as we look this up, okay? I'll leave this running. And we're going to take a look at, you would think that if there are elites that are underground and they are involved in trafficking children, and how would they go about doing it? They've done it many ways before. We can talk about Pizzagate. We can talk about the Franklin cover-up. We can talk about Wayfair. If Wayfair was, obviously they're not selling really cabinets for $10,000. No one's going to, they got the picture of all the same cabinets, and they had throw pillows, and they had names attached to those items, and they were very high priced. Obviously, those items were being offered on the sly to elite figures. Who do you think would be involved in something like that? Let's take a look at Wayfair. Whoops, or not. Wayfair. in here, holders. Ready? FMR, Bale Group, BlackRock, Vanguard, Morgan Stanley. Who do you think that they would be providing these services for if I just showed you FMR, State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock? Who do you think they're providing a service for? Why do you think that these same corporations that are involved in trying to quell everybody from going to see the movie Sound of Freedom, and they are owners or shareholders in these companies like AMC or IMAX? And I can show you Hollywood. All of Hollywood is owned by these same corporations that I've been showing you here. Sony. Let's take a look at all of the different. Here, I'm just going to show you. I typed in a bunch. I got this book right here. See this book? You can't see it, but I have written down all of these. Okay, we're going to take a look. I'm going to pause this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the line and show you just ones that I looked up, just because the name came to my mind, or I seen it mentioned somewhere else. Let's take a look. Look, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Geode, Morgan Stanley, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bank of New York Mellon. I showed you FMR LLC, Bank of America. What about the whole Bud Light and the whole fiasco with Budweiser? Dodge and Cox. Royal Bank of Canada again, Morgan Stanley, Invesco, FMR, Bank of America. So you heard so much of State Street mentioned all the way down the line in all of these corporations. Let's take a look at State Street. Vanguard, BlackRock, Dodge and Cox again, State Street, Invesco, Geode, FMR. Look at all the mutual funds right there. Okay. Let's take a look at, how about Boeing? Let's take a look at Boeing. Look at this. There you go. I'm not even going to say the names anymore. You see them. Let's take a look at all of the military industrial complex corporations and see who controls the action. Lockheed Martin, right here. State Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, FMR, Bank of America, Geode, Morgan. Came to my mind, 90% held by other institutions. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, FMR, T. Rowe Price, Geode, JP Morgan, Aflac. Nike. Coors. And you know why I looked this up? I was thinking to myself, well, you know what? If they destroy the Bud Light brand, well, people still want to drink beer. So whose beer are they going to turn to? It doesn't matter whose beer you turn to because they're owned by the very same corporate institutions that own every freaking share in all the others. So it doesn't matter if they destroyed Bud Light. If you stop drinking it, you're going to be providing the money to the same corporate entities that own Bud Light. Coors. Involved with the event 201 in October of 2019 with Bill and Melinda Gates, World Economic Forum, the Chinese CDC, and they held this all at the Johns Hopkins University. UPS, FedEx, let's take a look at them. UPS, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, JP Morgan, FMR, Bank of America, Geode. Look, I want to show you something. So just bear with me here. UPS, right? And I seen this right here, Upstart Holdings. Never heard of it. And I've never seen some of these others too. Let's just tap on this right here. Let's see what's going to come up as far as, I don't know what's going to come up. Oh, isn't that crazy? These corporations own shares in every freaking goddamn corporation known. I'm just going to type here. Watch. Let's type in a letter. Let's type in here. Let's type in B. Okay, are we still rolling? We are. Let's type in B. Brent crude oil last day finance. I don't know. How about Barnes Group? I don't know who that is. Alibaba. Let's take a look at them. Yeah, you know what? We already looked at Boeing. Let's take it Alibaba. I haven't looked at it. I don't know what it's going to say. I don't know. I can only imagine what it's going to say. Dodge and Cox, T. Rowe Price, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. Of course. Same corporate heads. Let's see. Just to see. Just to see. Bear with me. I don't know who Barnes Group is. Never heard of them. Who's the holders? Who is it? Oh, yeah? Who would have thunk it? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Geode, and Aristotle showed up in some of these Bank of America. Okay. Letter C, shall we? What do we got with C? Crude oil. We already looked at Citigroup. We don't here. Like, you know what? Let's do D because I don't see anything right there. Let's see. Dominion Energy. We didn't look that one up. Or how about Advanced Micro Devices? Let's look at Dominion Energy. Shall we? It's an energy company, right? Shoot. It's got to be something nifty there, right? Huh. Are you picking up what I'm laying down right here? Every freaking agenda out there is involved with corporations, whether it's transgender, the pride thing, and trying to. How about all of the corporations that are involved in white privilege, destroying whites because, oh, you were privileged for so many years. Now we're going to change that. Now we're going to destroy you. Any freaking, watch this. Disney's destroying itself, right? Everybody's talking about how Disney's destroying itself. Okay? We didn't look it up. And I did. The Walt Disney Company. What do you think it's going to say, everybody? What do you think? And they don't care. They own everything. Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Morgan Stanley, Geode, T. Rowe Price, Bank of New York Mellon, Bank of America, and all of them are all intertwined with each other. And they all, almost every single one of these somehow is connected to the World Economic Forum. Now you know what's going on. Let me take a look through my list right here and see if there's one that stood out that I want to show you specifically. Alphabet Inc. Right here. Who holds it? Who's the major holders? Oh, there should be no big mystery there, huh? Should be no big mystery there. Now I am going to read, are we rolling? We are. I am going to read to you Papa John's. We did UPS, FedEx. Let's see, Nike, Netflix, Fox, Northrop Grumman, Home Depot, Lowe's, Alaska Airlines, American Airlines, Boeing, Allstate, Alliant Energy, Aflac, AS Corp, ACOM, ADP, Accenture. Let's see, 3M, Booz Allen Hamilton, another one of those freaking, another one of those contractors with the U.S. government, your military industrial complex. What are we going to find with them, ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a look. Oh, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Cracker Barrel. I was just thinking of restaurants and it came to my mind. Cracker Barrel, yes. AutoZone, Big Lots, Kaiser Aluminum, Citigroup, PNC Financial, Geo Group. Oh, yeah. The private prison situation. All the private prisons. Yeah, of course. Geo, whatever it is. The Geo Group. Let's take a look, and what do we have with the Geo Group? Yeah, I was thinking about private prisons, and I almost forgot about this. Holders of the Geo Group. Any big mystery there, folks? Any big mystery? Franklin Resources, you've seen that name in the list here. Carter's Inc., AbbVie, Carlyle Group, I think I showed you that. Truist Financial, Paramount Group, Meta Platforms. Oh, isn't that Facebook? Meta Platforms? Isn't that it? Is that the new name they go by? Let's take a look at what Meta. Is it any mystery here? Even if it ain't the same, it's a corporation who has the same majority shareholders. Look at this. $58 billion worth of freaking shares. $49 billion for BlackRock. FMR, $39 billion. What? MasterCard, Visa, American Express, and FMR LLC stands for Fidelity Management and Research LLC. Everybody, I don't even know if I've covered all of the stuff that I've looked up on here. Every single agenda that you can think of has all of the same corporations around that agenda, whether it be energy, whether it be automakers, whether it be the movies, and I'm not talking about the movie theaters, I'm talking about Hollywood, period. I'm talking about restaurants. I'm talking about grocery stores, Albertsons, Kroger's, all of them owned by the exact same corporations. So you can't escape it. They're going to push agendas on us left and right, and it's going to be all of the same corporations that are in league with the World Economic Forum that are going to be pushing them, and we won't be able to escape it. Thanks, everybody.